And I think that what really happens is that we actually just think like people who are aesthetically black don't innately just don't have diversity, don't have different perspectives, don't have an ability to understand many things. And I feel like a lot of it actually, as I always usually say, it comes back down to colorism, because the darker your skin is and the more mono people's skin color is, like as in terms like where everybody is dark, the less we think spaces are diverse. And we just, and I hear a lot of people say like, oh, it's just a black space, you know, we need to have more diversity. What they mean is we need to put a white person or a non-black person or a biracial person into the mix.
Sometimes it don't make no sense. Does it really happen?
Hi, welcome to Mayowa's world. Hi everyone, my name is Mayowa. Before we do anything very important, let's get into the looks. Let's get into the looks, because I was feeling very inspired. You know what I'm saying? The Nollywood type of women that will take your husband, you know, this kind of aesthetic. I was going for it.
What the fuck is going on, baby? Still hanging around with this bitch when you still have all this? Nothing but shit.
I see the makeup. Can see it. Can see, you know, the breast is out. The hips is giving the hips. The waist is giving the waist. Yeah. So I'll like show pictures of what the full outfit looked like, because also too, you know what I'm saying, you guys see it in full view. Boom. So out of that, we got that out the way. And I have my bracelet that one of my best friends, Miley, she got this in Nigeria, and she gave it to me, and yeah. Anyway, boom, let's get into what I did this week. So I want to get more into vlogging. Like that's something that I think, you know how I asked a couple weeks ago, like, oh, what kind of content do you want to see, So because sometimes I feel like when I talk about heavy shit, I kind of need to take, you know what I'm saying, the black gets hot, I need to take a little break for a bit. So then I want to like pepper in something that's like fun for me. And I think I really want to start vlogging. But this past week, I went to a South African dance class, an Amapiano dance class. I don't know if y'all know anything about this style of dancing or that music, but when I hear that music, I feel like an exorcism is coming. I feel like the way it just take my body, like the music is amazing. And the music, when you hear it, it makes you feel like you could do the dance. You know, I don't know if you see South Africans, but they be doing all that footwork and the knee stuff. Their knees is built different. Their knees built with metal. So I took the dance class, which I'm gonna show y'all in the vlog. Dance class, and I took it twice. I went to two different dance classes, right? And the first dance class that I went to, I have no documentation of me dancing, because have y'all ever like sprayed a cockroach and you see the way the cockroach is moving? That's what I was looking like in the dance class. It was not giving what it had to give. I was embarrassed. It was not giving what I had to give. Then I went back again. You know what I'm saying? I went back a little bit harder this time, yeah? So I went to the second dance class. I was ready. Boom. Still was not looking like how it should be looking. But it's giving a little something. So the dance class was really fun. I want to get back into doing more movement. Today's topic is going to be about tokenism and the concept of diversity. So boom, last week I posted on my Instagram. If y'all follow me on Instagram, I be making stories sometimes. I made a story because hella people was contacting me last week like, yo, is this you? Is this you? Is this you? And I was so scared to check the messages because I get this kind of question often, like, is it you? And the answer is yes. Every time. It's me. I'm not, you know it's me. I don't know why, it's me. It's me of my past, because what happened was 5 years ago, I was struggling for some cash money dollars. I was struggling for money. So I started to do stock image modeling. I did some modeling. I was like, you know what? A little money here and there. Stock image modeling is like hella easy. All they said was, can you wear a white top? Can you use a computer? And you just use a computer. I said, boom. And they was like, oh, we can pay $8. I said, boom, yeah. Boom. Modeling, acting like I'm typing. Didn't think them images. Sometimes, you know, if you ever do stock images, a lot of images don't go anywhere, but they just kind of have them just in case. This photo shoot that I did in one day has been rinsed and milked and used in so many different ways. Yeah, ways I did not even expect. I've been on billboards, and the most recent one was I was on the page of BBC News, and they were using my image to talk about how, like, bosses, and they were using me as their boss, or people who, companies, and I was the image of a company, is trying to open back up for the pandemic and how they're struggling to open up. And my image has been used so much for being a boss of a company, or people will use my image to like join the company. And when you look at the actual company, the company is looking nothing like me. And it's like one of the things that like I have regret for doing it, because I feel like my image is used to be diverse, and I really didn't know that at the time. I was not really so like keen. Plus, I really needed money at that time, so I'm actually like not gonna really share the things that I had to do to like make my ends meet. But I know for a fact that that image has made like hundreds of thousands of dollars. Maybe, is that extreme? That image has made a lot of money. I've been on billboards, and I've been on billboards to kind of always show like startup companies or things. And the reason that people use my image, I'm very aware, is because these companies don't hire Black people, so they use my face as a representation of a business person. Like, oh look, if she can make it, if she can be a boss of a company, I can join the. And this is tokenism, right? And so I want to talk about tokenism and how just violent that is, how basic it is, how boring it is. But yes, I want to circle back actually. But the stock images was so bad. I knew it got really bad when they used my image to show an example of somebody who paid off their student loans. And the company that I owe my student loans for was the one using my own image. Myself, I'm not even able to pay the loans, but my face is now selling people to think that I have paid off my student. So if you see me on a commercial, or you see me on a magazine, or you see me on websites, if I'm not looking happy, it's probably for stock image. Okay, so it's me, let's ignore this, okay? But yeah, I want to talk about like tokenism and how boring, basic, annoying it is. Like, I don't know if you know what tokenism is, but tokenism is like the act of using one person to kind of hit the quota of diversity to represent like everything. And how like the reason that people like tokenisms exist is to push an agenda that is like very rampant and probably has been rampant for the past like 15 years, which is diversity. And I really want to unpack that word in general, because I want us to understand like what it really means. So when people say diversity, what I've learned that they mean is like, okay, so I'm talking from two lenses. I'm talking about, so white people think diversity is having one Black person, right? Or having hello white people, a spicy white person, and one Black person every time. It's like look at, you take what's that group called? Fifth Harmony, right? Normani was the token Black girl. You take, then on the Black lens, you have hella Black people, but then the person that they like to always throw into for diversity, because often Black entertainment, Black people have to always put in a white person or a non-Black person to prove diversity, which is why when you see music videos of Black artists, they will have a white person or hella white people or hella non-Black people, because it's seen as more marketable to have not everyone black. But with white people, it's like they be 100 white people and they be one black person, but then black people have to be diverse to like exist. And I wanted to unpack the word diverse because I feel like it's a buzzword that people really use but don't understand. And I want to talk about diversity from a black perspective and within blackness. Okay, so I want to talk about like my experiences or what I think diversity is. So boom, I went to an HBCU in Atlanta. I went there for 1 year. And then I went to a predominantly white university as well. So I had 2 experiences going to a HBCU, and I also went to a predominantly white PWI, predominantly white institution. And when I went to an HBCU, it was my freshman year, and I felt like the array of blackness I saw was just mind-blowing. Okay, so I went to a HBCU, which is a historically black college and university. So when I had gone, everybody was black. I know now HBCUs be looking a little different. That's a whole different discussion, but when I was going to an HBCU, everybody was black. So I had never seen so much diversity in my life because at that time I had only grown up in Atlanta in Georgia. So I was seeing people from, there's a lot of people go to HBCUs, a lot of people that come from DC, Maryland, Virginia, or the DMV. There's hella black people that come from California. And then you get your interesting little Midwest black folks that you didn't even know be existing in Minnesota and Wisconsin and Maine. All them places brings all the blackness into one university. So you have people doing the go-go dancing. You have people doing the, I forgot what California, but they were doing the jerk at the time. Like there was so much culture into one space. Like I had people from Louisiana. So for me as someone, and also mind you, I'm Nigerian too, but grew up completely in America. So I feel as if I'm socialized as African American, identify as being African American, but I specified that I'm not generationally African American. So for me, I did not realize until I went to a historically black university till I was around hella black people, the ways in which like, in the US, there's so much diversity within the north to the south, to the west coast, to the Midwest, to the southwest. Like there was so much diversity packed into that university. But I feel like people never call HBCUs diverse because visually looking, everyone is black and we don't associate blackness with diversity. Like all black people with diversity. Boom, take me going to a predominantly white institution. I remember when I went to a white institution, everybody was like, yeah, it's better to go to a white institution because it's going to prepare you for the real world. But like, let's be real, like the whole world that we live in has always had us understanding about white culture. Going to a school where everybody white does not give you a better understanding of the world. If anything, I feel like going to a historically black university gives you a lot of confidence and teaches you how to center black people because you're in a school with all black people. Pause though, because HBCUs also have a lot of issues with like classism, elitism, colorism, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just saying in terms of people making it seem like going to a white institution is suddenly the groundbreaking thing. I never really understood that. But I went to a white university, went to University of Georgia. That school's percentage is like 80 or 90% white, right? And then they be having some, I think it was like 6% black. That's fucking terrible. Like that's, but people associate it with being a more elevated thing to do than to go to a historically black university. I feel like black universities are seen as below predominantly white universities because people don't think that black universities prepare you for the real world. And this whole thing of saying that being in black places does not prepare you for the real world is also very limited because there are many parts of the world where you will be with all black people. So being comfortable and knowing how to interact with hella black people from different places, I actually think is a very important skill. But anyway, I kind of bring that all around to say that I think a lot of when we think of diversity and who fits that quota and who is like shined, is often just like who has drops or proximity to whiteness, to white people. Because I feel like there's often this rhetoric that happens where people say like, oh, if someone is biracial, they're seen as more diverse than someone who's monoracially black, because people feel like, oh, you have both perspectives. But there are a lot of black people who just actually have both perspectives, or many perspectives in a household. How many Africans do you know that speak more than 2 fucking languages? I feel like that's really standard. How many African American people do you know, or okay, let me not even say how many. I know African American people whose mom is from the north and whose dad is from California. That's very different perspectives into one. Or someone who's half Caribbean, half Nigerian, very spicy mixes. Or someone who's Haitian and Congolese. Very, you know what I'm saying? Why do we only think that both perspectives exist when it is in proximity to whiteness? And I think that what really happens is that we actually just think like people who are aesthetically black innately just don't have diversity, don't have different perspectives, don't have an ability to understand many things. And I feel like a lot of it actually, as I always usually say, comes back down to colorism, because the darker your skin is and the more mono people's skin color is, like as in terms like where everybody is dark, the less we think spaces are diverse. And I hear a lot of people say like, oh, it's just a black space, you know, we need to have more diversity. What they mean is we need to put a white person or a non-black person or a biracial person into the mix. And I think that a lot of it, as I always say in every fucking video, and I'm sure y'all are gonna be like, when is she really famous? But a lot of it comes back down to anti-blackness, because there is nothing innately non-diverse about black people being together. Like personally, I've chosen to navigate my life to understand the diversity of blackness. Like it is so vast. Like living in Nigeria, I don't even think in my whole lifetime I will ever be able to understand the amount of diversity just in that artificially carved out country. Like I still don't understand a lot about like Igbo or Hausa culture. Like I'm still learning every day. Obviously, even the cultures that don't even fit into the binary or trinaries of Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba, like I don't understand that. And I remember this one time, like when people travel, I feel like people travel as well in the perspective of wanting diversity, which often means wanting to be around non-black people. And I remember like when I went to Belgium, I had heard non-black Belgian people tell me like, oh, Belgium is, you know, there's not many black people there. Like, you know, you should go to Belgium for like the chocolate or the, I don't know, colonialism. I don't know what people like about Belgium that they were trying to get me to go there for. But I think that people think that when we travel these places, I always see people take pictures in like really kind of, you know, touristy places. But when I had gone to Belgium, I ended up going to a party there and everybody was black. And I just think that when we go to these like foreign countries, we're always so interested in like the integration or like the observation of whiteness, and not so much about seeing how like, or even knowing that black people live in these countries and often have spaces that will be very black and very diverse. Because being in Belgium and meeting a lot of Belgium Congolese people, that was mad, and also Rwanda, that was just mad interesting for me, and that's mad diverse. And even one time I went to Hungary. I don't even know why I was there for real, but I had met a Nigerian person. He told me in Hungary they have all black, like they have black communities. And so for me, I just kind of have realized that I don't think people like know that there are black people literally everywhere in the world, and everywhere in the world they have their communities. And I think that people view those communities as like almost, it's like every black community, every black space is almost like existing until there becomes something that pushes diversity to break away those spaces and gentrify those spaces and gentrify those communities. And a lot of times I feel as if blackness is consistently being gentrified or consistently being modified to kick people who look like me out. But baby girl, you cannot do it. You cannot do it. So I guess that's my video, is just like kind of pushing this like unpacking the narrative that diversity literally just means proximity to non-blacks, and also that we are hella fucking diverse. Black people, dark people, dark-skinned people, black people pack so much diversity within ourselves, and I think we should really invest into each other, into understanding diversity within each other before we're continuously wanting to go out and out and out. It's almost like we're always just going out for the answers when really the answers are within. It's a good end. I'm not gonna even push that. So thank you for watching. Have a great day. Bye.